Welcome to the creative process, where we look at the behind the scenes of what it takes to create things and make projects come to life. My name is Mr. Andersin. I am the host of the creative process, brought to us by Sinsful Comics LLC, found at Sinsful, that's SINSFUL.com, and promoted by WrittenSiNs.com. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing a press release, which WrittenSiNs is and I have created a new format to be able to give us information, and you can also use this very form to go anywhere else. We're going to go into it in depth right now. So this is the perfect program to learn a little bit about this, and we're going to head into it right now. So let's dive in. Now, first off, I wrote most of this. From now on, we will ask and not require people to fill out the following form for us to be able to better help creators get their messages out. Now we have two press releases below. One is a how to do it. One is how to that you can copy and paste right over. The other is an example. I give a finished press release, and I even took it a step further and added a third one, which is exactly how it would look after you give it to us. So that it's very basic. Press releases don't have to be anything bigger than the following, and here's what it is, and it's easy copy and paste. I don't know why there's a smiley face. We'll take care of that after we shoot this. And just put the bracket there. But you're going to put the title. You want it to be a good title that catches attention. We're going to talk about a tagline and what a tagline means. A website, your website. You should always have a website, or maybe even your Facebook group or your Instagram attached to any press release you give. And keep that in mind. You're going to want that to be something that is always part of your press releases. The date, if it's date worthy, if there's something about a date, like for example, Kickstarter, which I use my Kickstarter to show as an example. You're going to want to have the date in there. If there is no date, don't put a date. Just you'll see in the special instructions, just put for immediate release, no date required. And then the story. So let's go over what all those means. And this is it. Okay, so press release, for example, this is all an example sheet I fill out with you guys right now. There's the title, the press release about press releases, our title. This is the title. It puts you put your title here. It's that simple, but make the title something that pops. Have it be something that's to the point, quick. Don't make too long of a title. Okay, so then your tagline. Tagline is something that's like a pitch. You want people to instantly it's like the elevator pitch, but even more condensed. It's something that's going to grab an attention. And as I said, this is going along with it being an actual press release as well. I put in, here's a simple form to fill out and send out to not just WrittenSiNs, but to all sites who will listen and post it. Taglines are quick, 1 to 2 sentence teasers for the work you're promoting. So you want it to be something very quick, very to the point. You know, I advertise WrittenSiNs in that statement. I talk about how many lines you have. I don't go over. I don't keep having the information. It's a tagline. It's quick. It rolls off your tongue. There's the website. And for here, I just put in www, put the website associated with the press release. Here.com, which is obviously where you're going to put your website. And like I said, once again, websites, Instagrams, Twitter, anything that connects back to you. Anytime you're doing a press release, make sure you are giving information that can draw back to you so you can bring the audience to you. That's the point of a press release. Think of a press release as a hook that has bait on it, and you want to drag or reel in whoever bites on that tagline, whoever bites on this press release. You want to bring them into your fandom, your area, whatever you're doing, because it could be a Kickstarter, it could be an event, whatever you're doing, you want them to come. So this is it. This is your bait to try to get that person's fandom that's a fish. Imagine their fandom's a fish and they bite that hook. You want to get that fish to come into your tank so it looks around. You know, that's what this is. This is bait to get. A press release is always going to be bait to get people to come to what you want them to look at. Never forget that. As opposed to clickbait, which is misleading, don't do that. Have it be only about your stuff. Don't do something that's not factual. Have it just be something that's going to encourage people to come check you out. Put the date of the release or the beginning of a Kickstarter, or if it's live, just skip this. Don't put anything else there if you don't need to. The story. Okay, so here's the place to tell us the details, but be careful not to over-explain. Always assume the person you are writing this for to read is super busy. Make it interesting and mind-grabbing. The goal of a press release is to motivate a person to take the next step, whether to click a link or to go to an event, here is your chance to impress. Don't be bland and don't write stereo instructions. Be powerful in your words and be short. Make them want more. This is really, a press release is really one of those times where less is more. It really, really is, because a lot of people are going to just quickly glance at, so you want to drag them in very quickly in their intention. Once again, you only get a shot at this once with a press release when they first read it. You're either going to grab the attention or you're going to lose it. Don't waste time thanking people for reading this or kissing ass. Think of this as your movie trailer for your project. Talk about the creative team, but do so in an informative and not biographical fashion. Name their most popular work. Do not give every book they've ever worked on, nor should you gush over how great they are. Keep it on track. Use expressive words to promote them. You'll see what I mean later. Here's a quick example I gave versus do and do not. Example, a good one is Satane Zilia brings to life fetish babies in an awe-inspiring fashion with her out-of-this-world art. Very simple. You guys get them excited about it. You get, I love having around fetish babies. And then I could also say this. So Satane Zilia, who has worked on so many projects, has done a great job on everything she's touched. In fact, I'm so proud she joined our team, and I was so taken back by how great her art is. Seriously, you need to see everything she has done. Without her, this book would suck. Don't do that. You know, I'm bored reading it to you guys. That's the point. Like, it has to be quick and it has to be decisive, and you have to, you know, a lot of times, especially when we're indie creators, they're not going to necessarily know who the names of the people are. You want them to make them interested in them. If you have someone like who's done maybe a Marvel cover and you want to talk about, well, he's done so many Marvel covers, keep it short. Don't give a resume. This is, remember, your trailer. Think of a movie trailer when you're writing a press release. Quick, get people excited and get them to search for more. That's the purpose of a press release. It's to be informative, but not to give away everything. You know, it's not meant, it's a press release, not a, you know, a letter of intent. You know, don't confuse the two. And this is true. Too many press releases try to over-explain it. Do not repeat yourself ever in a press release. It's just the easiest way to handle it. The best thing to use for your press release is your elevator pitch. It is good practice to make an elevator pitch for all your projects and a press release to go with it. Place your thank you, I have, but I'll fix that, and or you asking for promotion in the email body and send it as send the release file. So basically, fill this out and then make it an actual Word file. It looks a lot better when you're actually sending a press release as a file as opposed to just pasting it in an email. But even if you paste it in an email, start on top, the top, and Pat Koal says, your notes on story part is spot on, though. Thank you. You know, right on top of the email, and thank you for joining us, Pat, and everyone else who's in the chat room. The top of your email, like the very top, right after your name, put in, you know, a paragraph. Hey, I am Rob Anderson. I write WrittenSiNs. I'm trying to release this press release. I'd appreciate it if you can release this press release as soon as you can. That's a very, you know, that's where you want to put the thank yous and all that in. Don't put it in the body of the press release. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake. You don't want to put anything that's not meant to be in the press release in that part of the press release. You know, you don't want the public seeing you saying thank you for reading something. It sounds genuine, but a lot of people don't want to know that you're thanking them at that point. That's what interviews are for. That's what's later for. That's for them when they go on your site. There's always time to thank someone. Right now, you want to just, you know, you want to grab their attention. This is your moment to grab the attention. And the elevator pitch is very important. The elevator pitch is very important. Everyone should have it. You should be able to talk about your project very quickly, as if you're in an elevator with a person going no more than 2 floors. Pitch it to them that quickly. That's what an elevator pitch is. You know, right off the top of my head, I don't have it written down, nowhere around me. Fetish Babies is a story of a young woman's journey through the New York City fetish underground, where she tries to learn about her fetish, her desires, and exactly what it takes to maintain a fetish in New York City and stay safe. That's a new one. I've never done that one before. That's a brand new off the top of my head. I have other more practice ones, like Jackson Anderson is a story of a young child's imagination and how his father, being a creator, has inspired different thoughts and different ways of thinking. You know, it's all about trying to get the imagination going. And They Call Us Monsters is a story of the classic Universal monsters turn on their head made into humans with actual genetic disorders, retold as they are the victims of Hollywood's misconceptions of them. See, it's something quick. You want to kind of lure people in to ask you questions. You want them asking you questions. You want to open the door for them to say, oh, well, what do you mean this? What do you mean that? Let someone else do the question asking and then answer their questions. You just want to kind of convince them that your project's worth paying attention to. As if it's for a public appearance, make sure you talk about the event, not just yourself. I've seen a lot of releases like that where people are like, oh, I'm going to this and I'm going to be bringing this and I'm going to be doing that. And I'll be at this table and I'll be doing this. They don't ever talk about the event. You're making yourself sound exciting, but if you're not talking about the event, you might be losing people's attention. That's not necessarily a good thing. The special instructions. So here's the part where, like, if you're giving it to me who runs a site or anyone else, you can list the different types of things that you might want to say. Special instructions for posting a press release, such as the links. If you want something hyperlinked, if you want it to be posted on a special day, you have it right here where you could, the date, remember? But this is the date it goes live, so that might be shown publicly. Like for Fetish Babies 2, when we'll go over Fetish Babies 3, Mentor Search, which we're going to look at in a minute, you'll see I have the date when it goes live. But in the comments here, I might say, hey, Rob, don't put this out until Monday. I'm not going to show everyone until Monday because it's got art that we're releasing only on Monday. So this is where you want to put everything in, and all this is always written down. Now, here's an example of what I would email to myself. And brand new, I made this just for this video. Fetish Babies returns to Kickstarter on Valentine's Day in search of a mentor. Right away, I've got that instant good line. Started off, someone might be interested who's read Fetish Babies. They might get excited about that. This is our third date with the readers. It's time to get freaky. Join us as we follow Barbara's search for the one man she needs to be her mentor, Bruce. And you guys can hear I haven't practiced it, so I'm not exactly familiar with it. I'll practice it more and more, and I'll be able to say off the top of my head. That's also part of it, learning your pitches to make sure you can right off the top of your head. Fetishbabies.com, and you can see this link will go to Kickstarter as of launch, letting people know if they visited early, they might not see the actual Kickstarter, but it will go to that as of the launch date, and I talk about that more. The Kickstarter begins, and I say when it begins. Then I write down, this is how I grab the attention. The story is Fetish Babies let's start over. The story of Fetish Babies has been an emotional start. We have seen Barbara realize her fantasies only to see them taken away from her by abuse. Determined to not let an awful couple steal a part of herself away from her, Barbara now seeks, I have to change that to her. Barbara now seeks out the one man she somehow knows she can trust. Bruce. But who is Bruce? And can he be trusted as rumbles about his past begin to paint a bigger picture of an awful event he was part of? Join as we finally meet Bruce and see if he will, in fact, take on the role of mentor to a girl who views him as a savior. And we finally get a peek at what a fetish party looks like during Halloween. So that's pretty cool, right? Then I talk about the creative team, created by Rob Andersin, creator of WrittenSiNs. I think that speaks to me a lot. A lot of people associate me with that. And Alyssa Anderson, a lot of people know from the New York City Fetish Underground. Alyssa went by Cookie Chef there. She also Sinful Cookies, so that was something to trigger people to remember who she is. Fetish Babies is an ongoing series distributed by Sinsful Comics LLC. Mentor Search introduced the spectacular art of artist Damien Aviles. I've never asked him to pronounce his last name. I'm going to actually have to ask him that for what is it? Phononic. I can't think of the word. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a Fetish Babies franchise, edited by the indie comics editing goddess, Leah Letterman. And that's the point. Very quickly about my team, very respectful. I instantly show importance to everyone. Bookmark www.fetishbabies.com today and set a reminder in your calendar to check the site at 8 p.m. on Valentine's Day when the lights begin to go out on Valentine's Day night and for some the kinky fun begins. It's basically a joke about, it's going to be the night and everyone's going to start, celebrating Valentine's Day. So here are my special instructions. Once again, it did that. I know why it did that now. I know how to fix that. So special instructions, Rob, please hyperlink my site, www.fetishbabies and WrittenSiNs and Sinsful Comics. And for Rob Andersin, Alyssa Anderson, Leah Letterman, and David Albers, hyperlink their profiles. I have added the links below. Also, some color to different links. Pink for Fetish Babies, red for WrittenSiNs, and different color for the names. And then you have Damien Alvarez, Mr. Rob Andersin, Alyssa Anderson, and you see the different links here. And this is all what I would send to myself. These are the links that I want put in. So in the end, I could make this. Now, theoretically, what it's supposed to be is that, and now, here we can use it and make it a linkable and a bit better on WrittenSiNs.com. So you'd see the picture above like we have on everything else. Fetish Babies returns. Here's our tagline. Here's our title. Here's the title of the thread or whatever the press release would be. We go right on top. So we have the Fetish Babies, and you see all the linkable. And if you guys notice in here, I'll have fixed some of the spelling errors and some of the issues that you had up top on purpose, because I also wanted to talk about one last final point. Make sure that you guys are rereading it and getting rid of the errors. I kind of left a couple errors in here on purpose just for the video. That's why I kept saying, we'll fix it, we'll fix it. I want you guys to realize that by how many times I get press releases with issues in it, and I'm not perfect. When I say this, I wanted to start off by saying I'm not perfect. You guys saw this. I went through this 3 times before I pressed publish. So 3 times I missed the errors that were in there. I knew there were a couple. I kind of left them on the last one, so I wanted to make the point of that. It's okay to make a mistake. Just go back over it, make sure, and even have someone else read it. Sometimes for me, I get so like used to where the words are going to be, and I kind of, you can hear me. Sometimes I'm talking over what's actually there as you're reading it, and I add words in, and that's just natural human nature. So have someone check it out. If you guys think that we missed something about making a great press release, let us know in the comments. We're going to be running this quarterly. So if you think that we've missed some point, which would be a great idea to add, if you think there's something that you want to have added in, we'll add it in, and we'll give you credit for what you give us, the information that you give us. So that way, every time this is re-released, your name will be linked, and you'll be able to get some credit for some great ideas. I hope this helps. Please do start using this when giving it to WrittenSiNs. I'd like to have you guys have more information. Given a lot of mistakes I see is people don't put their website with the things that they do. So that would be awesome if we could have that. Also, notice that I talked about pictures at one point and how we were sending more pictures. Make sure you send pictures with your press releases. Far too often, I have to send an email again saying, hey, do you have any pictures? Don't forget the small stuff. The small stuff is very important. Send a picture, send links, you know, be available. If you send an email, make sure you respond to an email very quickly. You have to get it in your mind that you have to check your emails at least once a day. I can't tell you how often, and I don't take any bad or ill feeling towards this, but it's just the truth. I often see creators take weeks to get back to me, and at that point, I no longer even know what they're talking about. A lot of times I'll have to go back and read my own email. They've already lost my interest. And of course, I make sure to get more on it. I try to help everyone, so I do my best to try to figure out where I was thinking and what I asked them. But, I mean, you got to keep that in mind. Not all sites are going to be this friendly. You know, some sites are going to look at you like you didn't nail it on the first time. You're not professional. And in 2017, we tried to help educate. And in 2018, I want to kind of show a more professional level of creators on our site. And that doesn't mean I don't want to showcase all creators. That means I want to help creators be more professional. And I want to do that together. I want to learn from each other, and I want us all to rise together as always. There's no putting anyone down. I'll be here to help anyone who needs help. You guys have seen that we've even redone all of our logos this year. It's all about trying to take that next step. So let's take that next step together. I'm going to be cutting myself off now because I'm afraid I'm going to repeat myself. And I just learned today through this creative process not to repeat myself. So that's it for today. We'll talk to you soon.